Once again, very proud to invite our next keynote speaker, Mr. Ajay Srinivasan, CEO, Aditya Birla Capital Limited. Today, sir has chosen to speak on topic customer service. Over to you, Ajay, sir.
Good morning, namaskar, and thanks so much for inviting me to this amazing event. I'm really deeply honored to be addressing all of you this morning. So I want to start by asking you to imagine an industry whose underlying products can often be copied by competition. Imagine an industry where product features and propositions can often be matched by others. An industry where pricing and performance is actually not really a sustainable long-term differentiator. And imagine this industry not having a tangible product, like a product you can touch and feel, but often just a promise that is made to its customer, and that is the product that this industry offers. A promise, say, to return money at a particular time with a particular return, as in the case of many protection products in this industry, or the promise to make that money grow in a particular way, as with investing products that make up part of this industry. So how do the players in this industry, both manufacturers and distributors, actually differentiate themselves then? How do they endear themselves, make themselves attractive to a customer or a prospect? So ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure that you've recognized that the industry I'm referring to is the financial services industry, an industry that goes back in time, not just to a few decades, but in terms of centuries. But over the years and over the decades, as the industry has evolved, the number of players has increased. But this reality that I've just described actually hasn't changed. Products, features, or performance and pricing are actually no longer sustainable differentiators. And technology is only adding a new dimension of challenge and change to this industry. So I ask you, what is the source of competitive advantage then for an industry like this? And I believe that the differentiators are actually two. First, the values, culture, and attributes that the brand itself represents, the brand of the offerer, whether it's a distributor or a manufacturer. And second, the customer experience that that entity offers to its customers. This combined imagery that a company creates in the minds of the customer, basis the brand and the customer experience, is actually the true differentiator that any company can actually own and appropriate for itself. And this is true whether you're a billion-dollar company or you're a startup entrepreneur distributing financial services products to your client base. You can spend tons and tons of money on advertising. You can have flashy statements all around your office and your visiting card that talk about your vision, mission, and values. But the real test of what you stand for is going to be the sum total of experiences that a customer actually has with you. I want to quote Jeremy Bullmore, who's a legend from the world of advertising and brand building. And I really look up to him for a number of things that he said. And he says, companies build brands through experiences the way birds build nests, which is one twig or one experience at a time. So think about it. It's a very powerful statement that whatever you do, whatever you're building, actually only gets built one experience at a time. So while speaking to so many of you today from this industry, to my mind, the topic of customer experience actually becomes very important and very relevant. And I thought that's why I picked this topic to talk to you about. Financial services, in my definition, and I've spent 3 decades in this industry, it covers 4 pillars. It covers protecting solutions that provide people cover against risks. It covers investing solutions that provide products to grow wealth and to help people meet their financial goals. It covers financing solutions to provide funds to those who have a dream but don't have the finances at that point to meet those dreams. And finally, it covers advice, which I think is what so many prospective customers look for before they're able to make a choice. And many of you on this call today are familiar with that aspect of this industry. But the importance of brand and customer experience cuts across all these pillars of the financial services industry and is true whether you're a manufacturer or a distributor or any other provider to this industry. So let's now look at what the customer's experience with the financial services industry is and what are some of the tenets for the future of customer experience in this industry. So I want to wear a customer hat. I think it helps take a very different perspective on things, because I may not be far from the truth if I wear that hat, if I say that the financial services industry is often remembered more for the last transaction than for actually creating an experience. This industry has yet to really focus enough on building long-term relationships. And in any retail financial services business or any retail business, that is really the core of value creation. And therefore, those that do have a significant advantage. And typically, it takes a sustained relationship to create experiences. You can't have a transactional approach and expect to create a wow customer experience. This is probably because our customer, I believe, has yet to fully understand and appreciate the relevance of our products in his or her day-to-day life. And I say this in spite of money being a product that actually should appeal to every one of the 1.3 billion Indians who occupy our great country. And so I'm saying, in spite of it being such a universal product, I yet don't think people understand and appreciate the relevance of our products in their day-to-day life. And this probably happens because the industry, both manufacturers and distributors, sometimes pursue their own interest without necessarily thinking of the customer, who in any business, and especially in this business, should be king. So until the customer understands why the product is relevant to him or her, I fear we will continue to be treated with some indifference by the masses, which is what we're seeing today, which is why penetration levels tend to be so low compared to many other markets. How many people are really excited about engaging with our industry today? On the other hand, think of the way people relate to, say, Amazon or Netflix or any other brand, I think, that you might know yourself. But don't you think money, a product that is common to every person on this planet, should be something that people want to and like to get engaged with? So we should ask ourselves, why is this industry therefore known for having to push its products and not have an automatic customer pull for its products? Because until that changes, the penetration level for our products will continue to be much lower than desired. So what in my mind is holding back the industry from doing this? Because when 1 in every 2 households in the US owns a mutual fund, why do we in India lag so far behind? Why are so few people covered by life insurance and health insurance? Maybe the answer lies in our focus being more on products and distribution than on the person who really makes the most difference to our business, the customer. So I ask you this question saying, does the industry truly understand our product and our prospect and our customer? Do we understand his or her attitude to our offering and to what the solution we're providing? Do we speak his or her language? Do we sell products, or do we actually provide solutions like sometimes we say we do? Are our interests actually aligned? Do we focus on transactions, or do we build relationships and experiences that last generations? Does our customer understand really what's in it for him or for her? I personally believe our average customer doesn't always understand the products we offer and is really more interested that we provide a solution to meet their needs in their language and their definition. And their needs actually are very simple. So a customer may say, I have money, I want to know what to do. And we convert that to our language of products and distribution. Or a customer may say, I need money, what do I do? And we convert that to our complicated language of products and jargon. Or the customer may say, I have some assets, or I've created some assets, I want to know how I can protect them. And again, we convert them in our language to make it far more complicated than our customer understands. I believe we're really fortunate to be living in this phase of India's development when the country is growing, when incomes are growing, and there is a great interest in financial savings. This is a 3-time multiplier. The country's GDP itself is growing, per capita incomes are growing, and you're getting a greater move to financial savings. The opportunity, therefore, in financial savings is going to be massive over the next 10 to 20 years. The demographics and structure of our industry means that there's going to be several decades of very strong growth in financial services. But in order to capture that growth, I think each of us are going to have to focus on customers and customer experience very, very differently to the way we've done before. So let me share with you my personal observations and predictions for what I believe will be the tenets for the future of customer experience in our industry. And I have 7 points that I want to share with you before I end my talk. The first point I want to make is that the customer is evolving and changing. It's the industry that needs to keep pace. So our customer will constantly evolve, and technology is only going to speed up that change. So the products our customers need, the way they buy, where they buy, and who influences them to buy is going to keep changing and changing very rapidly. But rather than what we always do, which is expecting the customer to adjust to us, we need to adjust to our changing customer needs. Somebody told me the other day, the biggest problem we have is we like to see the world the way we want it to be rather than the way the world is. And I think the same thing is true with customers. We want the customer to see us as we are and adjust to us rather than us actually adjusting to our customer. And I think the people who don't do this going forward are going to face a lot of trouble because customers are going to have a lot of choice. So the first thing I'd say is the customer is going to evolve and change. It's we who need to keep pace. The second message I want to share is that we need to choose our customer very carefully. Historically, I think we've all believed that every prospect is an opportunity for us. Any mango that falls from the tree is as good. This strategy is often, in my view, led to disappointments at both sides. So I would say we should not try to be everything to everyone. Not everyone is going to be a good match for every other customer that we find. So the fact is we need to introspect ourselves. Who is the best customer for us? Where do we find these customers? And how best do we actually reach them? what are they looking for, and how does that fit with our proposition and our strengths? Because I think a well-matched customer relationship is really the basis for a good long-term relationship between provider and customer. The third thing I want to share with you is that we need to think customer, not customers. And therefore, we need to think of n is equal to 1 when we think of our customer. Every customer is different. Every customer is unique. Because while we may identify like-minded customer segments, it's an easy way to think about segregating and segmenting populations. Actually, no two customers are really identical. And therefore, when we sell the same product with the same pitch to everyone, we are creating wrong expectations and are creating, I believe, the possibility for mis-selling. So to be relevant to each customer, we will need to start by first understanding his or her need rather than directly getting into a product pitch. We need to speak to the customer as an individual with a really sharp proposition that is most relevant to him or her. We need to speak their language, and we need to make every customer feel that he or she is actually the only customer that exists for us. We need to hyper-personalize experiences. And really today, with the way data and analytics is evolving, we have the ability to do this. So I would say we need to leverage data and analytics fully to be able to make sure that we can hyper-personalize our offering and our customer experience for every customer as if they're an individual by themselves and not part of some bigger group that we would like them to be part of. The fourth message I want to share with you today is, are you really listening to your customer? And this is a very important point. If you go back to Stephen Covey's 7 Habits as well, this is a very important point he talks about, saying we should first listen before we speak. And I think the point here is we engage with our customer before, during, and after a sale. Thereafter, we have repeat engagements across various touch points with these customers. Customer experience actually is the sum of all these touch points. It is not one experience or another, because you can have one good experience, but if you have another bad experience, it makes for a bad overall customer experience. So are we really enriching our understanding of our customer through each of the touch points that we reach out to with our customer? And are we using this data and information to serve the customer as he or she wants so that we can create memorable experiences for them? I think the basis of any long-term relationship, and you know this whether it's in business or in life, is to listen, is to understand, and then to respond. So I would say my fourth message to everybody is really we need to listen to our customers very, very carefully, very intently. And the customer is always right. The fifth message I want to leave with you today is to ask yourselves, who are you benchmarked against? Because remember that we no longer face competition from our own industry. Once a customer is used to a one-click purchase, the customer expects that from every category. So I think we all need to benchmark our service experience to be the best amongst the best, and not just within our industry, but everything that a customer actually has exposure to. And the same experience has to be on a mobile, it has to be on a laptop, it has to be on a desktop, and it has to be through every channel, whether a website, whether an app, whether a call center or a branch. So any touch point the customer comes through, we need to make sure that we are benchmarking the experience to the best amongst the best. So I would suggest we should all actually look at our customer journey, map it out, look at how your customer is interacting with you, what points of contacts, how do they get served at each point of contact, and reimagine these journeys leveraging technology, which is so widely available today, so that your journeys and your customer experience becomes best in class. The sixth message I want to share with you today is about measuring customer experience. Because every engagement, as I said, can make or break a customer experience. So in my mind, it's absolutely key for any provider to have a finger on the customer's pulse and emotions in real time. Because all of us know what gets measured gets managed. And therefore, measuring customer experience is going to be key to ensure you know how you're doing and where you need to improve. It's no use you're thinking that your customer experience is good, or you're believing yourself that your customer experience is good, but your customer is difficult. Because if your customer doesn't experience the service that you want them to experience and tells you so, and you can measure it, that experience is not worth anything. But thanks again to machine learning and artificial intelligence, today you can actually gauge the tone and emotions of a customer in real time. And you can predict the customer's action and intent based on this. I've seen this working in China in a really big scale and across the board. And I'm sure it's going to come into India very soon as well. That somebody calls a call center based on the tone and the emotion of the call, you can immediately tell whether this person is actually going to redeem a fund or lapse a policy, or they're ready to be able to put more money to invest behind you. So I think measuring how you're doing is very important because that allows you to fix the gaps in your process. My seventh and last message is that we should not expect customer loyalty, because despite all our efforts and all our investments, we should not expect loyalty automatically from a customer. Technology has made competition very simple and it's just a click away. It is so easy for you today as a customer to switch today from one provider to another. All of us know it as customers. Our customers also have the same opportunity to switch from one provider to other very, very easily. It's so easy today to compare products and performance. There are enough people outside who are just providing you comparisons between one product provider and another product provider, or one product and another product. It's so easy today to look online and review what customer experience with any provider has been. And I think this will get even easier as time goes on. Therefore, if you have to earn the loyalty, you have to earn it with every experience and at every stage of your relationship. You can't just expect it to happen. You'll have to earn it time after time after time. And I think that onus is going to be with us, for everybody in this industry, because all of us have to work together to make sure that the customer experience changes. Because when that happens, we will truly benefit from the huge opportunities that I spoke about in the Indian diaspora. So in concluding, I would like to say that customer experience isn't really a nice to have or something that we occasionally do. Today we're going to be good at customer experience, but tomorrow we're going to do something else. It has to be an ingrained part of our DNA. It has to be an integral part of who we are as an organization and a part of our culture. I'm sure all of you have heard of Walt Disney, who created amazing experience for millions of families. And Walt Disney said, whatever you do it so well that when people see you do it, they will want to come back. And not only that, they will want to bring others and show them how well you do what you do. And that really is the foundation on which Disney has built this phenomenal enterprise that they have across the world, this whole enterprise of magic and this whole enterprise of customer experience. So ladies and gentlemen, if we can do all that in our own businesses, I think we in our own way can create some of the small magic that Disney has created at such a large scale. So while many brands and players may believe in or practice some of these tenets that I spoke about, I think the organizations, small or big, which take the lead in creating customer experiences and constantly reviewing and improving it, will ultimately be the winners in the world that we're all entering into. So I want to end. I've run out of my time. I want to thank you for your time and attention. I wish you all a really good day, a lovely weekend, and a great symposium. Do take care of yourselves and stay safe. Thank you.